What's up, everybody? Kyle here at Let's Talk Wax, and today we are going to be looking at an updated top 10 from all 2021 Bowman releases, including Bowman Draft, Bowman Chrome, and regular Bowman. If you guys check out the Let's Talk Wax ranking system to the right, I will apply a Let's Talk Wax rank to all 10 of my top favorite players, and I'll also be going over some honorable mentions. Now, there are some qualifications for my content. It is hitters under the age of 24 and within rookie limits, and in most of my videos, I also use production over projection. But without further ado, let's jump into the top 10 Bowman Chrome autos in all 2021 Bowman releases right now. At number 10, we've got Kyle Manzardo, who had an enormous year in 2022, but hasn't produced much in 2023. He did have a shoulder injury, and I'm not sure how much that impacted his offense, but his season performance so far is nowhere close to what it was in 2022. You can see he's got a 2023 season batting average of 233, the lowest on this list, but he also has the highest career ISO. So I'm really looking forward to see what we get out of Kyle Manzardo maybe in 2024. He is one of the older players on this list, but like I said, he was one of the most dominant offensive players in 2022. He slipped a little bit in 2023, and he was also traded to the Cleveland Guardians. So a lot more anticipated from Kyle Manzardo in the future, and he is number 10 to kick off this list. At number 9, we have another player coming out of 2021 Bowman Draft, Carson Williams. And after all the things surrounding the Wander Franco circus, Carson Williams was actually promoted from High A to Triple A. He skipped Double A. It's something that I don't think I've ever seen over the last 10 years in my prospecting days and research, and creating all the content. It's a very big jump. He is struggling a little bit at that level right now, but that's to be completely expected. The jump from High A to Double A is very difficult, and I kind of see Double A and Triple A as being very similar levels, just with some older guys in Triple A and some veteran MLB guys who swap back and forth between Triple A and the major leagues. But he is in Triple A at the age of 20.2. He's a shortstop. He's got a little bit of thump. I think he's going to be more power over hit. You can see his 2023 season batting average and his career batting average are both right around 250, and he's held a 200 plus ISO in 2023 and a 200 plus ISO over his career. He's got 20 home runs and 16 stolen bases in 2023. Now, granted, most of those came at the High A level, but he was still pretty close to age appropriate 20.2 at that level. The big thing with Williams is the strikeouts. He's got a 31.7 2023 strikeout rate and a 31.7 career K rate. So depending on how much contact he makes in the upper minors and major leagues, he may get to a significant amount of power. He is number 19 on MLB.com's top 100. Organizationally, he's number 2. He's a Let's Talk Wax rank of 2.5 like Manzardo, and his autos are selling for about $50 right now. And like I said, are out of 2021 Bowman Draft. Another 2021 Draft player at number 8, Harry Ford, Seattle Mariners, 20.5. He's a catcher with a lot of athleticism. He could probably play anywhere if it doesn't work behind the plate, but I really think the Mariners are looking to have him be kind of the keystone behind the plate for the years to come. He's a very high floor prospect. He's got amazing K numbers, a 17.2 K rate and a 1.04 K to walk ratio on the season so far, and his career K percentage is only 21. So the kid makes a lot of quality contact. He hits for a little bit of average. He hits for some power. He's got speed for a catcher. He's got 24 stolen bases, and I don't know of many catchers in the minor leagues that have even 20 plus stolen bases, but Harry Ford's got 15 home runs, 24 stolen bases, so he's a very versatile player. The stolen bases may get cut down, as he gets older and gets into the big league level, and he's catching a lot every day. They probably not are going to make him run much to save his hamstrings a little bit, but like I said, Harry Ford seems to be like a very high floor player. I don't think there's a lot of risk here. The only problem is his Bowman Chrome autos out of 2020 draft are short printed, so they're very expensive at $225. He's number 41 out of 100 on MLB.com. He's number 2 in the organization. He's a Let's Talk Wax rank of 2.5. At number 7 out of 2021 Bowman Chrome, we've got Jefferson Kierra with the Milwaukee Brewers. He's 20.9. He is also a catcher like Harry Ford, but unlike Harry Ford, Jefferson Kierra has played the entire season at the Double A level. He's had 336 plate appearances. He's hitting 264 with a 180 ISO. He's also got immaculate K numbers. He's got an 18.1 K percentage and a 1.74 K to walk ratio as a sub 21-year-old in Double-A. So some really phenomenal K numbers there for his age level. He's got 14 home runs. He's not much of a stolen base threat, but over his career, you can see he's hit pretty well too. 264 batting average, a 167 ISO, and here we go again with the great K numbers, a 17.8 career K percentage. Now, he is struggling a little bit right now in Double-A, but like I said, he didn't have any time to pad any stats in High A, so his numbers are a little lower than some of the guys you'll see on this list that did get to play in High A this season. Now, he's number 34 in the top 100. Organizationally with the Brewers, he's number 3. He's a Let's Talk Wax rank of 2, and you can find his first Chrome autos for about $25. At number 6, we have Marcelo Mayer, Boston Red Sox, 20.7 shortstop. He's played at High A and Double-A. He's kind of struggling right now at the Double-A level, and it's got an impact on his 2023 season and his career stats. 236 so far this season with a 197 ISO. He's got some fringy K numbers, a 24.2 K percentage and a 2.68 K to walk ratio. I do think Mayer right now is showing a little more power over hit. You can see he's just under 200 in the ISO department in 2023 and in his career, and he's hit around 230 this season and 260 over his career. So Marcelo Mayer also battled a shoulder injury, I think, for quite a bit of the season. He just went on the DL for it. So like Kyle Manzardo, I'm not sure how much this shoulder injury impacted his swing, but sometimes those things tend to nag hitters, kind of like Zach Veen's wrist injury. He just got wrist surgery and he's done for the year, and he struggled big time in Double-A. So we really don't know what these players are going through health-wise, if there's a physical ailment that's inhibiting them from performing well, or at least performing up to 100%. And a lot of these guys are going to play through some pain. It's just because of the length and the longevity of the seasons. That happens a lot. So there's a lot of stuff in the background that we don't know about that stats can't tell you. But like I said, Marcelo Mayer, shoulder injury may have been a little bit of a hindrance in his performance in 2023 because he performed very well in 2022. But right now, his stock is kind of trending down a little bit. He was an elite rankie for me prior to the season, but now he's dropped down to a Let's Talk Wax rank of 2 because of his poor performance in Double-A. But sometimes it takes players a little bit of time to get cranking in Double-A, so I wouldn't get too worried yet if you're sitting on a bunch of Marcelo Mayer stuff. Top 100, he's a number 11 guy. He's number 1 in the Boston Red Sox organization. His cards are also out of 2021 Bowman draft, and that's pretty much, I think, the best release in the 2021 era is the 2021 Bowman draft. And a lot of times 2021 in any releases, the draft usually takes over as one of the better releases. The 2021 Chrome was kind of a bloodbath in that year's set. But like I said, draft is going to take over this checklist pretty big. Now, if you guys are into Bowman Chrome autos and baseball card prospecting or even fantasy sports, check out my Patreon page. You can help support the channel over there. I've got a top 100 Bowman Chrome autographs list, a top 100 Bowman Chrome autos under $50 list. I do detailed autograph checklist breakdowns for every release since 2019. And I've also got a private Discord server over there with a guy that runs the Discord server. One of my mods is probably one of the most knowledgeable guys in minor league content. So go over there and check that out. It comes with a $5 subscription to the Patreon, and you also get early access to all of my YouTube content. A big shout out to all the patrons I currently have. And like I said, if you guys want to help support the channel and unlock some exclusive content, be sure to check out my Patreon page. I'll put a link to it in the video description. Now, we do have several honorable mentions from all 2021 releases. We've got Angel Martinez out of 2021 Bowman, Brainer Bonacci, who's really come alive in 2023, playing the best season of baseball he's ever played in his life, out of 2021 Bowman. Jose Rodriguez and Kevin Alcantara, both out of 2021 Bowman. Now, Alcantara has been more projection over production lately, but there is still some, he's a very high ceiling player, so I kind of keep an eye on him. Jose Rodriguez can hit for a little bit of power and has elite speed on the base paths. Brian Ramos is more of a floor player out of 2021 Chrome, but he's one of my favorites in the White Sox system right now. Miguel Bleis has been injured for the majority of the year out of 2021 Chrome, but another guy kind of like Alcantara who's more projection over production right now. Connor Norby out of 2021 Bowman draft had a big season last year, but hasn't quite put together the same season offensively in 2023. And Edwin Arroyo, who is now with the Cincinnati Reds, a very young speed power hit prospect with the Red system, but he does play shortstop, and it's a really tough place to crack the major leagues on the infield right now. So many guys performing up there. They got Spencer Steer, they got Ellie, they got Matt McLean, they've got Christian Strand. So it's going to be really difficult for Edwin Arroyo or anyone in that Red system to make it to the big leagues. Some MLB grads out of 2021 releases. Jawan Bay, Endy Rodriguez, and Johan Rojas have all graduated to the MLB level out of 2021 Bowman. Christopher Morel, Ezequiel Tovar, Jordan Diaz, Liover Peguero, Aslevis Basabi, Colton, and those are all out of 2021 Chrome, and Colton Cowser, Henry Davis, Christian Strand, Hunter Goodman, and Sal Frelick, all graduating out of 2021 Bowman draft. So these are guys that have had about 30 plus MLB plate appearances out of these releases. Kicking off our top 5 is Blaze Jordan. Now, he does not have a ton of defensive upside, but he does have a pretty special bat. Boston Red Sox, 20.7. He's played the majority of his games at first base. It's been about a 55-45 split between first base and third base, but I do see him kind of in the first base DH role once he gets to the major league level. Now, I do compare his bat to Curtis Mead, a guy who's performed and hit very well over his entire career, but not a lot of defensive upside. Blaze Jordan through high A and double A has hit .297 this year. Immaculate K numbers, 14.7 K percentage, which is really, really good, and a sub 2 K to walk ratio. He's got 18 home runs on the year. He's a .296 career hitter with a 184 ISO and a sub 20 K percentage. Now, Blaze Jordan has fallen off the MLB.com top 100 list. He's dropped down to 12 in the Boston Red Sox organization, according to them. But I still like Blaze Jordan. I think it's a very high floor bat. And like I said, I compare it a lot to a guy named Curtis Mead in the Tampa Bay Rays system. It's just a bat that produces year after year and even in the upper minors. So I give Blaze Jordan a 1.5, but just consider the lack of defensive upside here. It's another guy that's going to have the trouble cracking the big league system, only being able to play, maybe first base, DH, and stretch. It would be a very long stretch for him to play third base at the major league level. But his autos are out of 2021 Bowman, and they're about $40 right now. Tyler Black with the Milwaukee Brewers, 23.1, another one of the older guys on this list like Kyle Manzardo. He's a third baseman. He's played between AA and AAA this season, and he has had an unbelievable season in 2023. He's generated a lot of attention in the hobby. He's got 50 stolen bases and 16 home runs. He's got one of the highest ISOs among players with 30 plus stolen bases. He's probably one of the biggest speed power prospects in baseball right now. Now, he hasn't hit for average much in his career, but he's hitting .264 in 2023 with a .222 ISO. Great K numbers, a sub 20 K percentage, a sub 2 K to walk ratio, and his career numbers are pretty similar with a .264 batting average, 18.8 K rate. Tyler Black is going to be an exciting player. The only problem with him is his age. Hobbyists start to make players irrelevant after the age of like 22 and 23. And relevancy kind of doesn't happen with those guys because they've been around so long and they're in later releases like 2021 Bowman. So he's kind of gotten a bit forgotten, I think, amongst all the prospects. But he has climbed all the way up to 54 on MLB.com's top 100, and that has given him a bit of steam. Now, his cards are still super cheap at $15. He's a Let's Talk Wax rank of 1.5, and there aren't many players that have that rank in my checklist breakdowns over on Patreon for $15. So definitely a guy to check out. If you haven't heard of Tyler Black, go look at his numbers. They're pretty special. The speed power ceiling is very high for him, and he's also another player out of 2021 Bowman draft, and you can start to see how draft heavy these release video is going to be. At number 3, we've got Adiel Amador with the Colorado Rockies, 20.4. He's a shortstop that played between high A and double A. Now, he did battle some injuries this season, and it slowed down, but like I said, it hasn't slowed down his production like Manzardo and Marcelo Meyer. He just got off a rehab assignment, I think, a few weeks ago, and he's performing well. He's got the highest 2023 batting average on this list at .306, and he's got a .223 ISO. So he's a 300-plus batting average, 200-plus ISO guy, and you notice on this list there aren't any other players that have done that. It's a very elusive combo. It's one of the combos I talk about a lot in my content, guys that hit over 300 and post a 200-plus ISO. They're very rare. Christian Encarnacion Strand did it, and I think Kyle Manzardo was one of those players last year. But if you look for those two stats, that shows that they hit for contact and they have a little bit of thump, and that their offensive profiles are pretty high ceiling when you get those two stats rolling. Now, the other great thing about Amador, aside from his batting average and ISO this season, are his K numbers, and they've been immaculate since being drafted. He's got a 10.7 K percentage, lowest on this list, and he strikes out less than he walks. So he's got a 0.86 K to walk ratio, also the lowest on this list. Career-wise, he's hitting 297 with a 173 ISO and a 12.1 K percentage. Now, I see Adiel Amador being more of a doubles machine at the big league level. I'm not sure if he'll tap into a whole lot of home run power, but with his speed and ability to drive the ball over the field, I think he's going to hit a lot of doubles. He's number 21 in MLB.com's top 100. He's number 1 in the Rockies organization. For me, he's a 1.5 on the Let's Talk Wax ranking system. His cards are about $60, and they've been floating right around there for years. He's always been between about $50 and $60. I think last year he even may have jumped up to about $75. But he's another player out of 2021 Bowman. And something worth mentioning, that 2021 Bowman's one of the most cheap releases out there right now. So it's a fun product to rip. You can buy like a hobby box, I think, for about $150. It's super cheap. Now, there are a lot of guys that are on the chopping block on my breakdown. But if you just like to rip wax, and you want a cheap, fun break where you do have a chance to pull some pretty decent players, 2021 Bowman is really going to be a fun, cheap rip. It's got Kobe Mayo, Adiel Amador, and Blaze Jordan. So something to think about if you're a guy who likes to rip wax on a budget. And as we just talked about, we've got Kobe Mayo at number 2. Baltimore Orioles, 21.7, a third baseman. He's about 6'5" with a pretty big power ceiling, the highest ISO on this list at 277. There are a lot of minor league players who are not even batting 277, and Kobe Mayo has an ISO of 277. So some pretty special power there. And he also hits for a bit of average. He's hitting 282 this year, and he's got the 275 career batting average. So a pretty special offensive profile. The K rate's kind of fringy, but he does have a 1.64 K to walk ratio, which I like. He's got 24 home runs on the year so far, and I think he's in the top 50 in home runs among players that are under the age of 24. He's number 28 on MLB.com's top 100. He is number 4 organizationally, and his cards were pretty expensive, but he did struggle a bit last year, and he's kind of on coming back, kind of like Nick York with the Boston Red Sox. The guys that struggled. Luis Matos is another one that comes to mind, who just had a really poor 2022, but they're coming back pretty strong in 2023. So Kobe Mayo is getting back to hobby relevancy out of 2021 Bowman. At number 1, Jordan Lawlar with the Arizona Diamondbacks, a player who's really trending up for me, and I've teeter-totted back and forth on whether I wanted to rank him as elite or 1. He's performing exceptionally well in the back half. He could be a 20-homer, 40 stolen base guy when it's all said and done. I think he's got 19 home runs on the season. I collected this data 2 days ago, and he hit a 409-foot home run at about 109 mile per hour exit velocity that I saw on Twitter. So he does have some significant thump. He's got a 212 ISO. The K numbers are really solid. He's got a 20.8 K rate and a sub 2 K to walk ratio. 18 homers, 35 stolen bases. Another guy kind of like Tyler Black that has a very high speed power ceiling. And these are the guys that garner a lot of attention in the hobby. The big thing with Elly De La Cruz, when he got caught up, it was the exit velo, the home runs, and him just stealing bases at will. So guys who hit for a ton of power and have the ability to steal a lot of bags are just very exciting players, and I think they generate a lot of hobby attention just through those two numbers. Career-wise, he's hitting 285 with a 209 ISO. In the top 100, he is number 10. Organizationally with the Diamondbacks, he is number 1. Like I said, he recently got promoted to AAA. I don't know if he's going to get a call-up in 2023 to the MLB level, but I would expect Jordan Lawlar to break camp possibly in 2024 with the big league club, because he's got not much left to prove, as he's performing pretty well in the 2 highest levels of minor league baseball. So I am going to stay at a Let's Talk Wax rank of 1 for now, but depending on how he finishes the last, we got about 3 or 4 weeks left of the season, he could bump to elite, if he continues to crush in the back half. So his cards have dropped a little bit. He's down to a $185 auto, but I think, like I said, the home run and the exit velo that was posted all over the internet a couple days ago is probably gonna jack up his price a little bit. People see things like that and they get super excited. So he's also out of 2021 Bowman draft, and like I mentioned, I think out of the 3 releases in 2021 between Bowman, Chrome, and Draft, that Draft is probably the king here of these 3. Now, as I mentioned before, if you guys want to help support the channel and unlock some exclusive content, head over to my Patreon page. I'll put a link to it in the video description. The autograph checklist breakdowns that you guys see from 2019 to the present will give you more in-depth coverage of all the players on the checklist. So if you want to try to find some sleepers, and I apply Let's Talk Wax rank to every player on those autograph checklists. So we got the top 100 list and the top 125 under $50, the private Discord server, and just a lot of fun stuff over there. You also get the early access. So if you want to help support the channel, head over to my Patreon page. I'll put a link to it in the video description. A quick shout out to all my level 3 sponsors over there and everyone who supports me on the channel. If you guys enjoy my videos, please don't forget to subscribe. I put out content like this about every week, and I do also run a hot sheet every 2 weeks throughout the season to keep you guys updated on who is performing the best. But that's going to wrap up this 2021 release video, and y'all have a great day.